Hello guys, and welcome back to yet another episode of our tour through Namco Museum. We're still in Volume 2. I told you we'd be looking at something interesting, and we're going to be looking at something interesting today. As you can see, still Volume 2, but you might notice something different. And you know what? It's this room. It used to be Super Pac-Man, but now it has something called Cutie Q in it. How could this be? Well, this is the Japanese version of Namco Museum Volume 2. That was released around the same time the American version did. The thing is that this was the original version, and they chose Cutie Q for this version to be in that room. I think there was some sort of thing that maybe Americans might find it a bit too boring, a bit too complicated. I don't know, but this was the 1979 game, Cutie Q, and we're gonna go in here and play it. Well, the thing is, I think I just thought of it right now, is that it came with a specialized paddle controller that was a knob. I don't know what to call it. It was a knob controller to control this game. So I think it may have been too complicated for the Americans to market. So that's why they choose Super Pac-Man. But nevertheless, this is Cutie Q, 1979, third game Namco ever made, which it's basically a pinball paddle game, and it's really fun. So we're going to take a look at some memorabilia here. And now this is the instruction card for Cutie Q. And right there it says Cutie Q in the katakana. And a lot of kanji here that I can't read. So basically it's telling you how to play the game. Very interesting stuff. And, well, there's not a lot here about the game, so we can take a look at all of it. Now I'm having a little bit of trouble because the confirm and deny buttons are switched in the Japanese version, so I have to get used to that. Now this is a flyer for a game called Bombi, and this is actually the second game Namco ever made. The first was GB, which is along the same lines. Bombi. Okay, what? Tennis? No. Teburu. Okay, Teburu, Bombi. It's a lot harder to read katakana for me than hiragana, so I'm sorry about that. So, Teberu mo something in kanji. A lot of kanji I can't read. Now this is a booklet we are going to take a look at. Okay, fine. It's all in Japanese. Sorry, guys. I keep thinking it's going to be magically in English, but then it's not going to work that way. So let's just go in. We're going to play Cutie Q. Now this is its room, its exhibit. It's actually sort of a representation of the game board itself. So let's get into it. We're gonna play it. Now this is a message that's only exclusive to this game. The header says Cutie Q wo play suro ni. I can't read that kanji at the end there, but basically that translates to is before you can play Cutie Q. So it gives you some steps here, and basically that talks about how you can't play with only the first controller. You have to plug in a second controller, either the paddle controller that Namco released or a second PlayStation controller, before you can play even one player Cutie Q. And that's why a lot of people had problems sort of running it on the console or on an emulator. They're like, oh, I can't run this, what's wrong with it? So basically, you have to configure a second controller if you're in an emulator and some such. And I think this was the reason why Cutie Q was not featured in this collection in America. Because maybe it was too complicated, maybe they didn't want to release the paddle controllers that Namco released in Japan. It could have been various reasons, but I think it was this quirk here that did it. So let's get into it. We're gonna play this mysterious Cutie Q. Okay. So, I played a little bit of it, therefore I have a bit of a high score in it, and yeah, let's play it. It's Cutie Q. So, it's a bit like Breakout. I don't know why I paused it. It's Breakout. It's a very fun Breakout clone. The first 3 Namco games, all of them were Breakout clones. You know, GB, Bumby, and Cutie Q. This was the last one. And I just completely lost the ball. I dropped the ball. Too busy talking to actually focus on the actual game. Now, this only made one appearance in, oh my gosh, in America. When it was in Namco Museum Remix and Mega Mix. And there, it got very interesting controls where you control it with the Wii Remote. And, that's actually quite interesting, but I like playing it with, the control pad. The controller. I'm not sure how this would control with the paddle controller. I'm sure it was... Oh, we did really good there. I'm sure it would control much better, because that's how it was originally designed. I think there's just cocktail tables released in Japan for this game. And we're doing very badly here. Ooh, we can get an extra ball if we hit the blinking thing. Okay, we have a walker. You hit those for extra points. Okay, we got 1,000 points for hitting the walker. We want to get that extra ball because we have no more balls left. Are we... Okay. Ooh, that was close. Whew, that was... No! Ooh, we almost missed it. I thought I was gonna lose the ball. Racking up a lot of points there. Dang, we keep on missing that last block. Ooh, that was close. I mean, it may not be flashy, but this is really fun. Oh! I missed it! Well, that's game over. That was really short, so we're gonna go again. I'm not sure if this originally was released in America. The arcade machine, I don't think that it was. Because I know GB was. And Drat, we lost the ball again. It was released by Gremlin in 1978, but I think that's the only one of these 3 games that was released stateside. I don't know. If you've seen a GB or a Bombi, well, no, if you've seen a Bombi or a Cutie Q machine out there in America, not like a Japanese machine, that would be very interesting, but I do not believe it was ever released outside of Japan, the latter 2. Oh! What was our score the last one? Was it about 15,000, I think? Okay. We need to get that T. We need to get that T to get an extra. Yes. Oh! No! Oh! We could have gotten it if I just just been paying attention there. You know, this is a game of attention. You have to have a lot of attention. Oh, snap. Is it over again? That was really fast too. We're gonna play again. Oh my god. I'm better at this game, I swear. Another very interesting fact about this is that the software that this runs on in the arcade is actually the first bit of software that, hardware that Namco used for their arcade games. It was called Warp and Warp, and it was named after the last game that Namco released using this hardware, which was, Warp and Warp. Dang. I mean, for anything other than pinball games, the quality of the hardware was quite questionable. I mean, sound-wise, there were some really good games. Like Tank Battalion, Warp and Warp is really good. I love Warp and Warp. But sound-wise, the quality of these games is questionable. Because it wasn't made to make anything complex. Oh, no! Oh! Gosh, this is very frustrating. But anyway, the sound quality is not really good for anything other than pinball games. And a lot of the games have really bad music. Really bad. Like, it bleeds your ears. I mean... Oh, there was this one that was, really bad. SOS, which was a plane shooter game. It was terrible. Terrible music. But the game was good. It was just really terrible music, and it made it really unpleasant to play. Ah, game over again. I'm having too much fun. We're gonna go for one more. One more game of Cutie Q here. It's just shame, because not a lot of people know much about the games that were released using this hardware. Warp and Warp was released stateside. It was Warp Warp, that's what the way they released it, by Rockola. And that's a pretty good game. I'm not sure about SOS, or Navarone, or Deep Sea Diving Simulator. But I do know GB and maybe Tank Battalion 2 and Warp and Warp were released stateside. So those are some Warp games that were really good. We're not getting good scores here. I want to get at least 32,000 here. But the luck is in the way the ball moves. It's not particularly lucky for me as of yet. Ooh. I want to get that walker at a good... Oh, no! Darn it. Okay, the walker's still gonna be there. Come on, get that X. God, nuts! Oh, Lord. Come on, I want to get the walker. I want to get the walker. Oh, this is pathetic. Oh, we're gonna get that bonus there. Maybe we'll hit the walker. We don't want it to. Come on, come on. There we are. We got a good one. We got 4,000 points for that walker. Come on, get the... Ah! Missed it! Oh, 21,000's not too bad. That's a good score to finish off with. Well, guys, this is the mysterious Cutie Q game that nobody really knew about until 2007 when they released it in Megamix. That was the first time they released it in the US, I think. But you may think we're now done with Volume 2, but we are not yet. We still have another surprising, interesting thing to talk about, and it's another game. another game. So there's 8 games in this entire collection, and that's really, really interesting. There was no other game that had 8. There was no other volume that had 8 collections, but we're gonna see that tomorrow. And I hope you had fun playing Cutie Q with me. Well, watching me play Cutie Q. You weren't actually playing. But anyway, that's tomorrow. I hope to see you all there, and until then, this is Benjamin signing off.